Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, May 8th. Hope you guys had a good weekend. And let's take a look at what we have coming up today. So let's forward to today's news. And we have labor market conditions index. No idea what that is. Really, the only thing we have on the plate for today. So that really should have next to no effect on today's morning's trading. So let's take a look now at what happened overnight. Okay, so here is our overnight session right here, and we closed right here. Here's a close from Friday. So definitely we spent most of the time above, and we are now below. So we're gonna call it fairly neutral. So we're not gonna really take any information away from that. Let's also now shift our levels around as needed. Okay, so we're going to find Friday's value area low. I'll come and fine tune it in just a minute, but let's just get it close. Friday's VPOC. Friday's value area high. Overnight low. Overnight high. And overnight VPOC seems to be stuck in here. 47.40. There we go. And overnight VPOC. So let's expand this out a little bit. Start placing these a little more accurately. Overnight low is good. Overnight high is good. Friday's value area high. Friday's value area low. And Friday's VPOC are all good now. Okay, so let's take this information and bring in our hourly chart. And let's see what things look like. Okay, so we are in the long-awaited downward move in oil, at least long-awaited on my part, which is irrelevant. You know, look, so many people that you talk to will say, "Oh, I think oil is going to go this way, or S&P is going to go this way, and so on and so on." And the fact that it does, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are a good or not good trader. It's what could you do with that information. So the fact that I have thought that ever since we were in this, I mean, I have to go back all the way. I think it was like December, right here. Ever since we started in this micro composite, actually more so this one, but ever since we started in this consolidation in this micro composite, I have been expecting us to ultimately push all the way back down. I had a number in mind, to tell you the truth, but I can't. I only bring in a year's worth of data, so I don't have enough on here to go back and generate that number again. Although I guess we can. And even on this pullback, you know, as soon as we got back into this micro composite, I was really carefully watching this value area low here to see if we can't break above that and start trading. The expectation was that we were really going to start making a push back down, which is what we did. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that that's what I thought we were going to do. That didn't help me trade it at all. It's just, you know, food for thought for me when I'm looking at charts. But anyhow, um, we have a little bit of a problem with this chart right now, and that is we have no levels below us. We haven't been down below 44.80 in over a year. So I'm going to have to start getting data from more than from more than a year ago in order to generate some levels down here. Now the other thing we could do, we can certainly start drawing some Fibonacci's. We can start drawing Fibonacci projections, Fibonacci extensions. But that's just not what I have in mind to do right now. Maybe later on today I'll start messing around with that, or I'll just pull in more data. But for now, let's mark off the low from Thursday and the high from Thursday and Friday. So the low from Thursday and Friday and the high from Thursday and Friday. Here's a level I'm going to move, so that's going to mark off Friday's low. And here we're going to mark off. So we opened up in a gap on Thursday and never tried closing that. Even with Friday's trading, we have not come back up to close that gap. It looks like overnight we can't test it. So that's going to be my expectation today, is we're going to see if we can't hold this low and ultimately come back up to fill some of this gap. So that's going to be, let's move this out. Let's just make sure there's nothing else that has to come off the chart. Here's a swing that we shouldn't keep on. We see we breached it to the downside. We breached to the upside. That one's going to go. Oh, sorry. That one was for Friday's low. Sorry, that's back on. My fault. One of the bad parts about having these lines extend to infinity in both directions is sometimes you have trouble recognizing where they came from. But okay, so then at this point, we have all the levels on here that we want. We admittedly are at a little bit of a disadvantage because we don't have enough information beneath us. You know, the more I look at this, what time is it? Let me just see something here. Okay, I think we are going to draw out some Fibonacci's here. I need something below us, and we'll probably end up doing this same type of thing with the S&P as we towards highs. So what we're going to look for, let's pull, I'm going to pull a Fibonacci from this low here to this high here. And we're going to look for the greater than 100% extensions. It's been a while since I've used these, so to be honest with you, I don't remember. I'm going to just see something here, make sure I have all the levels I want. 38, 50, 61, 76. Okay, good. Okay, so that's going to give us 1 point of potential levels. And what we're going to do is we're going to now draw the extensions and see if we can find any type of confluence between these. I know these. I'm not drawing these to the tick. They're close enough to get me what I'm looking for. So here's going to be an area of interest, but that's still quite a ways away. Now, I honestly didn't really do much. I think I'm just going to have to bring in more data. I don't really have another choice. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not something that I've done. So what I'm going to do to help with this is, instead of bringing in data on an hourly chart like this one is, I'm going to come and create a new chart for us. And that chart, oh, I hear Maximus coming over to show me something. Yes, buddy. You have another cool trick. What do you got, my boy?
Instead of this, we can move it when this is off.
Oh, wow.
Cool. And you can catch it and then make noise.
Nice job.
But if you put it on.
Yes.
First.
Yes.
And you might get lucky it goes together.
Okay.
You might get lucky these are good parts because watch this.
Ooh. Nice.
You don't get damaged.
Okay. I like it.
Because watch this now.
Show me, baby.
Even when we push a little off, it still moves a bit.
Cool. Those must be strong magnets, buddy.
I'll hold this for you.
I don't know.
It's too fast to keep up.
So while he's showing me his tricks, I am setting up this other chart here. So just kind of got to give me a second to get this the way I want. Okay. So it's gonna take a bit to to generate all the data that we're looking for. Right. So I guess really, you could see I don't spend all that much time over the weekends reviewing this stuff. Now, I should tell you, that's something that I will probably be changing. Most likely, I am going to start spending some more and more time when I can reviewing the market, market replays. Just watching them over the weekend so that I can kind of get more screen time. It's just good for you. The more you can watch, the more you can see, the more you can learn, the better. Let me just go back here for a second. Okay, so I do have enough data now on this one. So what I'm going to do, for now only, to kind of give us something here, I'm going to draw in a couple of swings that you will not see. You'll see the lines appear on the chart here, right? So I just added this one. You'll see those appear on the chart. But you're not going to see where they're coming from. Now, admittedly, these are not exact, meaning I can probably go in and fine tune these and determine which ones to pull off, but we'll determine that when we come and test them now. Okay, the next time we get down there and test them. And I think that is everything that I can get from 2 years. Okay, yes, there we go. There's all the levels we have beneath. Now, I could also, and I will at some point also go back into this daily chart and put in volume profile information to see if we have any naked VPOCs or things like that. Okay, so actually now it's time to do our hypotheses here. So it took a little longer than we would have expected to get our oil ready, but that's okay. We are trading at 45.91. So put that right here in the middle. We have almost 200 ticks to the upside and 200 ticks to the downside. Okay. Plenty of space to draw out hypotheses. So first thing we're seeing is that we are opening inside yesterday's range, outside yesterday's value. We are also, looks like we've readjusted overnight low here. So let's actually take a look at that. Let's forward to real time. Yep. Okay. So overnight low has pushed down. So while we've been doing this, we've gotten a nice further push down here in oil. Okay. So currently, we see that we are opening inside yesterday's range, outside yesterday's value. So we're going to be watching for okay, here is the open. Okay, so we're going to be watching for an open that is going to, oh, sorry. An open that is going to push up, test yesterday's value area low, see if we could fail here, maybe test overnight VPOC, see if we fail here. But ultimately, the idea is that we're going to make our way down to test Friday's low. Okay, now if we get below that, we're looking to test the most recent low of 44.80-ish. All right, and in the event that that is what we do, we'll have to pay very close attention, see if we find support here. But for now, that is going to be hypo 1. Hypo 2 is going to be a push down, test Friday's low, hold, and start making our way back up, coming into Friday's value area, testing Friday's VPOC value area high, Friday's high. Kind of retest this entire range. In fact, I think if we do that, we're going to come and test all the way to the bottom of this gap zone here. Okay, so this area here is untested. All right, we gapped below it on Thursday and have stayed below it. So that's going to be hypo 2. Okay, hypo 3 is going to be a push up into yesterday's value area, hold value area low as support, hold overnight VPOC as support, and start to push and ultimately get through this gap area to test the upper end of it. That's going to be hypo 3. Okay, so that's everything. Took us a little longer than normal, but we had to grab more information. And truth is, there's probably even more information that I can be grabbing to try to help us generate levels beneath us. But this should be more than fine for what we need. And oh boy, oh yes, that's right. I saw that on Friday we had a real nice rally over on the S&P. So let's see what's happened overnight. We pushed even further. So we set an all-time high overnight. I remember reading or hearing something a while ago that says basically when an all-time high is set overnight, expect that to be broken shortly after in a regular session. Rarely are all-time highs. So I don't know that to be a fact. Like I said, it's just something that I had read somewhere and found that to be interesting. And that makes sense. If we have that much demand overnight and then we get a pullback like we are now, it does make sense that when the market's open and there's more activity trading, that we are then going to look to get back to that all-time high. Let me move this swing out of the way for a second. To get back to that all-time high during the regular trading session. All right, sorry, I kind of distracted myself there. Okay, value area high, value area low, VPOC, overnight. I'll put it to overnight high in just a second when I get closer to it. Overnight high. So speaking of overnight, let's take a look at what the trading did. Here is the close from Friday. We immediately gapped up all the way here, tested higher, and then came straight back down. I have to believe over the course of the next few days, if not today, we are going to be breaking all-time highs, breaking this overnight high, which is currently the all-time high. Let's go bring in our hourly chart, and I mean this is pretty cool. One giant spike there at the end of the day. And that is all-time high for regular trading sessions. Okay, so let's see if there are any levels that we need to take off of this chart. This swing here, we came up to test it from beneath. We then smashed through it. I'm going to leave this on. We have not yet tested it from above, so we're going to leave this swing level on. This swing level is going to come off. And look at how somehow I already have this swing level on here. I'm actually not sure how that's the case, but there it is anyhow. So let's mark off Friday's high. And let's do some hypos. So if you remember, I was talking about, and you can see how I drew a micro composite here. I'm going to extend this micro composite to include Thursday's trading, but not Friday's. Now, if we ultimately, even if today, let's say we blast out of here, let's say we get to a new all-time high and then turn right back down, and today we are trading inside the micro composite, I might stretch that out. But for now, this is really all the trading this micro composite should cover. Let's see where we are currently trading. 23.94 quarter. Okay. So we have 20 ticks up. 16. Let's do it like this. Okay. So 23.94 quarter. Here's where we're going to start doing our hypotheses. So we are trading inside Friday's range, outside Friday's value area. First thing we're looking for, test of overnight low, value area high from Friday. Look for support and opportunities to buy where we can start coming up and testing this regular session all-time high and ultimately to break the overnight session all-time high. That is hypo 1. I'm going to need to start going a little quicker here, I think. Hypo 2, I'm really going to be hesitant to look for shorts here, but Hypo 2 is going to be a push up, test Friday's high, fail, turn back down, and set setups for decent short opportunities. That's going to be Hypo 2, but I'm really not looking. It would have to set up awfully nicely for us to want to do that. That's really all we're watching for the S&P. I'm going to be looking for decent pullback opportunities to go long. Okay, so we have just over 2 minutes to the open. I'm not going to bother pausing the recording. I'm just going to ask you to give me a minute while I get myself situated on my other screen here. Sorry for the silence, but might as well take the time to do what needs to be done real quick. Okay. Okay. Just about good here. All right, let's see what we get here. So we do have what looks to potentially be positive divergence if we pull back to this overnight low. Let's see if that's what happens. That will be a no. Immediately testing value area low from Friday. Wanting that value area low holds. Remember, if this value area low can hold, yeah, I'm going to take a short here. The nice candlestick setup right there. Might have jumped the gun a little early. Really wanted to see that. Really should wait to see if this candle can close bearish. I'm moving my proper target away. Actually, I'm going to. Let's see here. So we do have positive divergence potentially at the low. I'd like to see us trade down. That was a great candle for us. Let's see if we can't get some continuation to the downside here. Because we only have the one the one contract, I am allowing my profit target to get out a little further than usual, but I am going to front run the overnight low for now. But I'm also watching to see if order flow tells me that we're going to look like we're turning. I would be willing to close this trade ahead of my current profit target. Right now, that's not the case. I'm closing right here. Okay. That's not to say that this won't go any further, but when we only have one contract, we kind of treat it like a hybrid of the initial contract and the runner. Positive divergence absolutely in place here near the overnight low. So we're going to be watching now at this area. Are we going to show buying strength come in and give us a setup to try to go long off of this overnight low with the positive divergence in the BBs? Let's see if that sets itself up there. In the meantime, we can also still be looking for short opportunities on a high enough pushback. This immediate move creates a range for us that is very tradable, assuming we continue to at least cover that range. I'd like the range to be greater than this, of course. The 21 ticks is not huge, but it does give us two-way trade opportunity. Okay, so at this point, I'm looking for either a short on a push-up, but that's going to have to set up. We're going to have to see that this value area low holds as resistance again or close to it. Missed our entry here on the positive divergence. Really fast turn off that bottom, but great exit on our trade. Yeah, this is really good trade opportunity for if you wanted to put on risk a little early, meaning if you didn't really want to fully wait for a candlestick setup and just trade off of the idea of the positive divergence on this double bottom, definitely set itself up nicely there. So, but now what we're looking for, I have a feeling this is going to break now, and I'm not looking to chase this up here. I'm not looking to buy at this high of a price, considering where we just were. So we'll wait and see. One of the nice things about having that counter on the candlesticks is as these candles are forming, you can get a pretty good idea. If we're down to 10, 12, 15 ticks left in a candle, most likely where that candle is going to close pretty close to what it looks like at that point. Right now at 390 ticks, this candle can do anything from here to the close of this candle. So it does sometimes help us to get into trades a little bit early. Or a little bit earlier than if you had to wait till a candle closed based on time itself. So buyers still stepping up here. Missed that turn here. We had the positive divergence. We had the right price. It just turned a little bit quickly for my taste. I really probably should have been looking to buy in this candle once we had this push down and then close on this strong push on the candle. All right, so watching value area low here again from Friday. Let's see if we see an immediate doji here, this indecisiveness on the previous candle. Now let's see what happens on this candle here. Are we going to show some bearishness, which if we do, we might consider trying to take a short here at value area low. The only thing is we don't have any confluence from the BBs right now. From the last time we were here to right now, the BBs are showing strength. So it's a little bit of conflicting information. So I'm going to sit on my hands on this one. Strong selling right there. So value area low has held as resistance again. BBs have not yet offered us confirmation that we should be looking for a short here. BB still showing that value area low could break, but that can very easily change with a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of time. Those BBs can absolutely change their pattern, and we'd be looking at a short opportunity up here. Right now, this short opportunity strictly comes from the fact that it is value area low and that it has held as resistance earlier today, and so far once again, and we just tested it now one more time, and it held as resistance. But none of the BBs are supporting this idea. Sellers are definitely stepping in here. Let's see if we get a little bit more consolidation here. What I'm looking for would look something like this. Okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on. What I'm looking for is if from here we can do something like this and then make a test up and turn down. By that point, what would have happened is the BBs would look like that. And we would have our negative divergence, but that has not yet set up. So for now, we are still not looking to go short here. If I had to make a guess, and guesses are not what I trade off of, it looks to me that we're still going to try to push up higher here, which at that point really we have to start reevaluating where we're going to try to get into trades, what the information will be that we're looking for. A break of value area low and acceptance above it, the next expectation for us is that we're going to ultimately come and test Friday's VPOC up here. Now we have some levels to get through before then. We have overnight VPOC and we have the close from Friday. Those are also levels that we'll be paying attention to. But right now it's all about value area low. Still holding as resistance here. Sellers are definitely doing a decent job keeping price here, not letting it get above, but we have certainly not seen any real efforts to push price away. So still it looks as if we're going to make an effort to break above here and start heading higher. However, in that sentence, what we're watching for right now, the best trade setup for what I'd be looking for is exactly what I drew before, where we would come down a little bit, consolidate, then come and test up here one more time with negative divergence. Once we break above this value area low, and if we can stay above here for a little bit, that's when we're going to start watching for the long opportunities. But for now, we are still waiting for a short opportunity. See again, sellers defended here. They just did it again. It still looks to me as if we're going to at least break above here for a little, and then it's going to be a question of how we trade if we do. Wow, sellers still defending there that 4606 high right now. If I were going to trade off of purely order flow, I would take a short right now. But I do not want to trade just off of order flow. See, still the BBs do not show any negative divergence. Putting a lot of volume in here, you can see that this is now VPOC. And sellers are defending it once again. I would love a nice pullback here for a long opportunity. Now buyers starting to get a little bit more size on the bids. I think here it comes. I think here comes the push. No, sellers stopped it again. The longer we stay up here and the more often sellers have to stop price, the larger the potential move is if we break above. Because you'll have all these people that have sold, that have gone short, and many of them would not have closed out their positions, and they're going to need to close those positions because at that point they think that they're wrong, and that creates the stop run. Rarely do I try to take what's called a breakout trade. In fact, almost never, and I don't intend to take one now. But this is setting up for where I think lots of people are going to have a breakout trade setup where if we get above 4606, they will have their orders ready to trigger for a long. And you know, we could easily see that push to overnight VPOC. There it is. There's the break of 4606. Let's see what that does. Amazingly, that did nothing. Wow. Sellers absorbing up here. Buyers are coming up. Large contracts on the, that's unbelievable. Wow. The sellers are absolutely in control right now. Now, again, that can change in an instant, but that was absolutely not what I would have expected. Haven't really had much of a pullback to even try to go long. I can tell you now, if I were long, you know, had I gotten long in a pullback, you know, even this guy here, even this pullback down to 21 EMA, and we just did what we did, I would have been I'm dumbfounded now. I everything about that looked like it was going to trigger a stop run, and it didn't. Right? It didn't. BB still are not offering us any type of help as far as looking for a short opportunity here. We're in an awfully tight range, so I can't really say that order flow is showing us a good short opportunity. Definitely the sellers are showing that they're willing to absorb some orders right now, 4606, 4607. But they have not been able to push price further down. What I have not been paying all that much attention to is how much selling is happening on the bid and are buyers absorbing, or there's just not that many aggressive sellers. Sellers are willing to get their prices as price moves up. Sellers are willing to sell on the offer, but not hitting the bids. We're now starting to get this setup that I'm watching for on this pullback here. If we can pull back a little bit lower, I'd like a couple of candles to close pretty bearish, then come back up and test the current high a day. We might have a nice short setup on our hands there, but the BBs have not yet turned, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the BBs to turn down with price, and then as price pushes back up, the BBs do not push back up equally as strong, which creates that negative divergence. On the flip side of that, I'm also willing to look for a long on a pullback. It would need to be, a stronger pullback than this. There we pulled 9 ticks off the high. I would have liked even here, if we can consolidate here a little bit, the BBs will be given an opportunity to kind of turn down. But let's see what happens. About 9 minutes till the equity is open. Let's give that a quick peek here. Not really much doing for us there. Whoa, well, there it went. There it went. That was kind of what we were watching for earlier, but that move started way lower than I would have expected. Okay. I almost feel like somebody accidentally entered the wrong trade there. But irrelevant. It's what's on the chart, and that's all that matters. See how fast we came right back down to value area low. So this, to me, still is holding as resistance. Yes, we did climb through it here and turn right back down. So we're in a bit of a no man's land right now. I'm definitely willing to look to get short if we push back below value area low. I'm not looking to get short here at the current high of day. I'm also willing to get long on a decent enough pullback, which this pretty much was a decent enough pullback. It just happened way too quickly. I am also willing to get long and use VWAP 21 EMA in the current middle of day. Use those as support areas if that's what sets itself up. Which right now that is more along the lines of what is setting up. What the hell was that? There was just a giant bid that came in. Darn it. Whoa! Oh, these. Huge volatility there. Worst part about it is that we missed this entry. This is the entry really that we would have kind of been able to talk about for a while, but missed that one. Seems as if there was just a news release that came out that would explain that immediate reaction there. Now we're going to look to see if there's a retracement of that value area high, just kind of held as resistance. And we see VPOC and value area high, very near each other from Friday. So you see the 21 EMA, look how stretched out it is, really high slope, or I should say really large upward slope. Watching for the BBs now to see if they turn down. A lot of times after strong moves like this that are news related, you do get the retracement of that move. It's what's called the scene of the crime. This was the scene of the crime. This is where the move started from on that news release, and that's down here at the 4602 value area low. I'm looking for a short almost right now. I'm just waiting for this candle. Let's see if this candle can get closer to its closing time. I'm going to take a short here with the willingness to scale. Got to be very careful. I'm going to watch this candle as well. I am looking to scale into this position. I am looking to get more if it allows me to. I'm just moving the prop target out of the way. I'll adjust it. If we start making our way down there. I just want to see the bids and offers a little bit better. Buyers still seem to be willing to push up here, but I do like the negative. I do like the negative divergence we have right now. It's not truly negative divergence because we have not yet come back up to the high. I probably should have scaled in there. I got caught looking at the BBs. Okay. So would like to see this push kind of start here. I do like how the BBs have had a chance to really start sloping down in this consolidation. That's good for me. But I don't want the BBs to get too far ahead of price. I want price to start keeping up with this downward push. So we need buyers to kind of drop their bids here and let sellers start pushing this down. Okay, trading the bid here a little bit. Not leaving though, still holding on to those. They just added on some contracts, added on again. Okay, sellers came low offer. All right. Buyers gave an immediate push back right there. I did miss my one scale. That's what I get for not having it out ahead of time. Should have been 42, which I would have been filled on here when we got to 43. That's okay. One thing I am going to watch for is what happens when we get down to this swing low here, which happens to coincide with yesterday's close, but that's not why I'd be watching it. I would certainly be considering to be willing to close my trade if we come near here and I see buyers stepping in as if they're going to respect that level as a level of support. But right now, let's see if we can't start pushing our way down a little bit further here. I want to see us trading on the bid like that. No, not that. The other way. There we go. I want to see these numbers, the 410, shrink, but when we're trading the bid, not when we're trading the offer. See right there, that was offers. That was nice. Buyers holding their ground here. Looks like buyers are still in control. At least for now. BB's very much nicely sloped downwards. We just had the open on the S&P. Remember, on S&P, we're watching for pullbacks for long opportunities, but right now I'm going to pay more attention to oil here. This area is where I'm going to start paying attention to the S&P, this 93.75, 94, if we can get a pullback there. Now, if we get a strong push off the S&P, we'll have to watch and look for other areas of entry, but for now, that's what we're starting to look for. And let's see here if buyers again. Let's see if buyers can push this up again here in oil, or if sellers are able to weigh this down a bit. Buyers, every little push down, buyers are stopping. You know, we're only going down a few ticks at a time, which is much more normal than what we saw earlier. And understand, I'm not trying to allow what I saw earlier to dictate how I'm going to handle this trade. Okay, I'm not making an assumption that we're going to get a large move. At this point, I am watching for any reason to get out of this trade right now. I'm seeing a few actually, but nothing too drastic. Okay, sellers still seem to be willing to push down here. Buyers holding. I have my stop at break even right now, so there's no way to lose on this trade. So if you remember, I was saying when I only have one contract, I treat it like a hybrid of my initial contract and my runner. And in this case, I don't have any positive divergence or anything on the BBs to say that this swing low will hold. So I really want to allow that to get tested or close to it. So order flow becomes what I watch now. And right now we do have sellers pushing down, but we're not trading the bids yet. Let's see if we can't start trading the bids. Buyers are holding it here. That's twice now. Certainly, if we had 2 or 3 contracts, we would have closed one of them out at this point, taking our 10-tick profit target at 27. The buyers have held that swing low there. I'm certainly at risk of getting stopped out of break even and having this turn back down, but with the volatility this morning, I really need to protect myself against letting a good trade go bad. Even getting stopped out of break even for me in this case, I would consider bad, but let's see if sellers can start pushing this back down or if buyers are going to make another run towards higher prices. A nice little shift there from buyers to sellers. Again, here we are to test this swing low. If I see buyers holding their ground, I might just close this. Sellers are pushing here. Sellers are pushing. Still. I'm going to close this at 15 ticks. VWAP. We had the wick come to VWAP. It held very nicely. Where my profit target was not actually where I was looking to close my trade. I just wanted something out there. We broke the swing low. Buyers came in, gave us enough reason to want to get out of this trade. So we're flat now. At this point, it seems like a good exit. Also looks like a good opportunity to try to get along here. Let's see if buyers start stepping up. Again, I'd like to see another push down right towards overnight VPOC and current VWAP. I don't want to chase it. This does look like a... Let's wait. Let's wait. All right, so let's take a look at what's happened on the S&P so far in the meantime. Here's the push down. We are looking for some opportunities to get long. Remember, 93.50, 94 area. Let's see. Since we are coming into the areas that I'm interested in, let's start taking a look at what's going on here on these BBs. Okay, really nothing, no major positive divergence here. We do have it off of these lows here if we were to ultimately come back and test there, but I think if we want to get long, we might have to start our position a little early. But let's see what happens. Now, actually, oil is getting into an interesting area as well. Okay, S&P has pushed down to that 94 area that I'm interested in. So for now, we're going to watch some order flow here on the S&P side. Okay. Really would like to see this push come further down, but let's watch this order flow on S&P. Okay. Sellers coming down. Buyers defended right there. Sellers just added contracts on the offer. Right there, they did it again. Still showing willingness to sell. Buyers came right through that. And sellers are back. For those of you that are not yet familiar with order flow, don't let all this talking scare you. Over here on oil, we've pushed through VWAP, came right back above it. I really like this as a potential long opportunity here. All right. Almost got to pick a side right now to watch. See this low volume area here on oil, how we just slid right through it. We can get back above. I think if we can get above to this 46, 24, 25 area, we might see some support now. Below it, we might see 21s, 22s, 23s hold the support. But right now, I'm watching really S&P is the one I'm most interested in. Although we've lost any real negative divergence, the 4181 is pointing downwards, as you can see here. The 2584 still has slight positive divergence, and then the 1597 certainly does. So we're gonna have to hold off. Ooh, well, just took off. Again, not a great long opportunity there. You know, maybe right around here, but really not a great one. At least not for me. Very active trading this morning on oil. I'd love to see, if I can get a week or two in with this type of volatility. I'd never have a chance to practice this because it's been so rare recently. S&P just kind of consolidating right where it is that we were looking for some trade opportunity. So there's some indecisiveness here in this range. Okay, push towards overnight low. There's Friday's value area low right beneath us. This is exactly what we were talking about in the homework. We have large bids beneath us. No great positive divergence to help us here for order timing. Look at how much negative divergence there would be if we were to make a push right now towards the current high a day. It looks like there would be a lot of negative divergence on the BBs here in oil, but we're way too far away from there for that to honestly have any sort of value. I'm more looking at this as a potential head and shoulders pattern if this turns back down here. But let's see. S&P is the one I'm interested in. We're really in an area that I'm looking to try to get long. I'd like some confirmation from order flow, from BBs. S&P trying to get back above that this micro triple, now quadruple top. Okay, I'm looking for a pullback here to buy into. BB's not showing great positive divergence. I like the level that we held the support, that it's overnight low. We're right above value area low. So we have some decent potential support levels here. I'm looking to get a buy down there. Again, this one just happened a little quickly. I was a little slow on reacting. Same as what happened to me in oil this morning. Okay, let's let it play out. Okay, well, coming to retest this swing high here. Still negative divergence. Looks like it would be intact if we continue to push higher. Just keeping an eye on both screens. I'm not trying to read order flow. All I'm trying to do is look for a pattern that makes sense. In oil right now, we are getting back up towards yesterday's VPOC. This previous swing here, I was watching to see what would happen there, but we're currently pushing towards Friday's VPOC and current high a day with negative divergence. So I'm starting to pay attention. There was a nice little spike right there. So I am paying attention now for some potential short opportunities. Excuse me. S&P, on the other hand, I am looking now for a pullback for a potential long opportunity. VWAP just held very well, so that does throw a little bit of a added concern, but I am definitely more interested in longs than shorts in the S&P, and certainly biased towards the upside. So just looking for what would be considered reasonable trade entries. You know, this oil now, this is a nice candle setup for a short. So I'm going to go short here, see how close we are to the close of this candle. It would take a lot for this candle to turn away from where we are and go bullish. So I like that we have a nice bearish candle. into what looks to be a previous swing into this consolidation. BBs certainly were adding to that. So I am watching just to make sure there isn't anything obvious in the order flow to want me to close this trade versus looking to scale in. I'm just taking a peek over at the S&P right now. I'm taking a look at the S&P right now because we've come back down. Let's see if we can ultimately come back to test this overnight low, value area low, and see if we can't get. Right now, there's really no good positive divergence helping us out there. So not still considering taking a trade down here. I love the levels. I love the idea of what that would be, but I wouldn't mind the extra confirmation. All right, let's go back over to oil. Let's see if now we're trading bids. Buyers are holding there. There's an infomercial playing in the background, but I don't want to take my eyes off the screen. But man, it sounds like something very interesting. Okay, S&P coming back towards here, coming back down towards overnight low. No good positive divergence yet, so I'm going to want a little bit more confirmation than what I got right now. Buyers not letting oil drop below that micro double bottom that we just formed. Tested it twice. They held both times. My only concern about this trade is that it could be tough for me to scale in because really, if we're going to make another push here, you know, we're going to move towards Friday's VPOC, current high day. That's where I'd want my stop to be. To scale in, no matter where I scale, my stop will still end up being kind of close to where it is right now. So, not the best place for a stop. So I am not going to be too aggressive on scaling in. I'm actually considering, depending on what happens in the next few seconds to minutes, I'm going to be considering closing this trade and just waiting. And I'll do that right now. Okay, so I'm flat. No harm, no foul there. I'm going to wait to see if we get another push up in price to give us a better entry. But buyers, buyers held on here. Big bid just came up when I closed my trade. So we're going to see if buyers end up making another push up. But I just didn't like, had we pushed down fairly quickly where I can get a profit in, that's great. But I just didn't like how buyers were continuing to kind of hold price up here. So we'll wait. We'll wait to see if we get another opportunity. They might take this opportunity to show me I'm wrong, but so be it. I won't be thrilled if we end up pushing below that micro double bottom and the low of this candle right now. I won't be thrilled about it. That the timing would be just when I closed out my trade, but believe me, that had nothing to do with it. It's nobody's paying attention. no one's paying attention to me. Still no turn up in the BBs on this S&P here. I do like this as the potential buy points here, but I really would like to see the BBs kind of. We do have positive divergence in the 1597, but that's the only one. Nothing in the 2584, nothing in the 4181. And actually, at this point, guys, I'm going to call it a morning. It's about 9:54. Oil is pushing up, potentially giving a better trade opportunity. You know what? Let's hang out. Let's hang out. Let's see if that happens in the next few minutes. Okay, there's another push up on oil. Big push, strong push into Friday's VPOC. Let's see if what happens here at current high a day. Looking for a decent candlestick setup for a short opportunity. Nothing yet. Definite negative divergence on all of the BBs. Another strong push towards current high a day. Just a couple ticks away. Still no setup just yet. In fact, looks like it's going to want to push more than turn right now, but you know, again, we're waiting for a decent candlestick setup. We're going to wait for a little bit of indecisiveness up here if it comes. In hindsight, great close of my last trade. You can see the 1597 BBs on oil. They do have what in the world is they do have negative divergence, not huge, but there is big enough there. So all three of our BBs have negative divergence. There's a nice little bearish candle. So what I'm hoping for, I mean, in a perfect world, this candle will stay around where it's at right now, trade a bit, get down to, 40, 50 ticks remaining without plummeting too far, because that's when I will want to go short. And there's the plummet that I'm, wait, come back a little higher. Okay, so here's our short. Would be willing to scale in here if need be. Probably shouldn't have gotten in this trade considering I'm gonna have to step away for a minute or in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful now, looking for buyers continuing to step in because certainly we've been in an uptrend since the open. We've pushed quite a ways from where we opened up and where we tested lower. So we are clearly in an uptrend, and if we see buyers step in to try to hold near the high, that will certainly not excite me. I would like to move my profit target, but the problem is I'm not going to be in front of my screen. So if I move my profit target, again, while I have one contract, I like to watch what happens when I get to that 8, 9, 10 tick profit area because I might manually close my trade. But let me just see something here. Buyers are still holding up here. Just happened again. Now let's see. Nope. See if we can trade those bids. So same thing. Every time we come and bid, buyers are absorbing some stuff and adding contracts. So not quite yet. Not quite yet letting it drop. Once again, buyers hold bid here. Let's test it again. Get out of there. They just did it again. They added on again. Okay, sellers have pushed. Now let's see if we can't get a little bit more of a move to the downside. Big bid stepped in, one tick below. Unfortunately, I do have to go. And all right, you know what? I'm just gonna couple ticks. Not really a winner, not really a loser. But definitely, I would be watching in this area for trying to get more short. But unfortunately, I do have to run. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, have a great